Yesterday we looked at skip counting by 2s, 5s, and 10s using a 100 chart. Well, today we're going to go one step further and move away from that 100 chart and look at skip counting using counters and other ways other than using the hundreds chart. So let's look at our see and show to begin with, and we have highlighted our vocabulary is equal groups. Equal means the same. So we need to remember that's very important. So let's read this. Equal groups have the same number of objects. Put 2 counters in each group. How many equal groups are there? So here you'll notice how there's 2 and then there's a circle around. So the groups are made by the circling, and it said to make sure there's 2 in each one of them. So it's equal when each one of those are circled and they have the same number of objects. So if this last one over here happened to just have 1 in it, would that be equal groups? No, it would not, because this one does not have the same number as the other 3 in front of it. So when they want to know how many equal groups we have, that's how many circles were made, how many different groups. And if you count the circles, there were 4. Okay, let's go to our helpful hint. When there are equal groups, you can skip count to find the total. So that now we're going to go on with this. Skip count to find the total. So we know there's 2 in each one of them. So from yesterday's lesson, we know with a skip count going 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 counters in all. Counting like that's a lot faster than going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got through a lot quicker when we did our skip counting. All right. Now let's go down to our practice. It says use counters to model equal groups. Skip count to find the total. So it tells us here we got to make 3 groups of 2 and find out how many we have in all. So we're going to make 3 groups, 2 in each group. So I am going to go to the camera. I've got some counters out, and it tells us to make 3 groups of 2. I'm going to put 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. I'm not going to draw the groups. I'm just going to split them up. So these are 3 groups, group 1, group 2, group 3, and there's 2 in each. So let's skip count by 2s. 2, 4, 6. So how many in all? 6. So let's go back to our page. 3 groups of 2 gave us a total of 6 in all. Let's see if I can do a little bit better with my writing. Not too good, but we know that's 6 right there. Now the number 2 tells us to make 4 groups of 5. Okay, so let's go back. 4 groups of 5. Help me remember that. 4 groups of 5. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a second group. 1, 2, 4, 5. There's the third group. 4 groups of 5. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. There's 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're equal because they all have 5 in it. So let's skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. Look how quick that was. If I was to go 1, 2, 3, all the way to 20, that'd take me a lot longer. Quickly, 5, 10, 15, 20, bam, we got it. So 20. So we're going to go back and we're going to fill in 4 groups of 5 give us 20. Okay, 20 in all. Now let's see what it says here. Describe the groups. Skip count to find the total. Okay, so let's see, how many groups do we have? These, I guess this is considered a group. They're all together. Then we got a space here. Here's a group, space. There's a group, space. And there's a group. So how many groups do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have to fill in how many groups we count. And then of is how many is in each group, the equal amount. So that if I count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, this looks like a 10 frame. So there are 10 in each one of these, isn't there? So I've got 4 groups of 10. So I'm going to write the 10 here. And then to how many in all, we're going to skip count by our 10. So count by 10s with me. 10, 20, 30, 40. There's 40 in all. Look how quickly we counted that. That's a large number. Remember we were talking about yesterday about when was the best time to skip count? By those larger numbers when you have a whole lot to count. So if we had sat here and go 1, 2, 3, it'd take us quite a while till we got to 40. But here we're going 10, 20, 30, 40. Bang, we're done. So that's why skip counting makes counting easier. Putting things into groups, equal groups, is so much faster when you skip count. So let's look at Talk Math. Create a skip counting story for exercise 3. This is exercise 3. So it's just making up a story. So I could say there were, let's see, we've been looking for leaves. So let's say I've got piles of leaves where I went on a scavenger hunt and I put them in groups of 10. And when I did that, I had 4 groups. How many leaves do I have? And it would be 40 leaves. All right. Let me go back so I don't have the pen. We're going to go to the next page. So here is where you're going to be working. Now on 4 and 5, it says use the counters to model equal groups. Skip count to find the total. Just like I did over here when I did 1 and 2. I got out my counters and you need to do the same. Model it so you can see it. Then do the skip counting to see how many in all. Now here it says describe the groups. Skip count to find the total. So you need to count how many's in each of the groups and then tell how many groups there were and how much is in each. Then do the skip counting to find out how many is in all. You just have 1, 2, 3 of those to do. And those are just like we did this one right here. Okay, and then we have page 116. Solve, draw a picture to help if needed. Okay, I would rather to be able to understand what you're doing for you to draw a picture, but I'm going to tell you how you can do a shortcut in just a second. But I want you to remember, don't forget that you need to underline key information and circle what you need to find out in the word problems, okay? So let me tell you a shortcut for this. So if you had to draw on this one 6 bunches of 10 grapes and you were drawing like 6 bunches, let me come where I'm over here, still on the, like this is a bunch, and you were trying to draw 10 grapes in each of those 6 of them, that'd take a long time. So let's say this is a bunch and you just want, and it's like in a bag and it's labeled on the bag how many's in there. Well, there's 10 grapes inside of that. So just write the number 10. Draw your second sack or second bag and label it with 10. So instead of drawing that many, just write the number of how many that's there. Okay, you could do that. That makes it a little bit quicker to do. All right, let me clear all. Yes. And go back to the pointer. Now I want to come down to write math. It says, how can you find the total number of tennis balls in 4 groups of 10 tennis balls? So this is basically telling you to do the same thing like up here, but it's just not worded the same. And then it says, use your vocabulary word. What? What do I mean by vocabulary word? You have to go back and look at what is in the see and show that is highlighted, equal groups. So when you do this on Right Math and you're telling how to solve it, you need to use the word equal groups. Okay? So that's what you need to do for today, is work on your own on page 115 and 116 and then turn that in. And this is the last lesson this week that I'm doing in math. You're going to have Miss Lancaster teaching you for the rest of the week. I just needed to get through these 2 to get caught up with where they were at the other schools. So we're working with 2nd grade online teachers in all our subjects. And I'm in one of them, and I'll see you in that one. Have a great day.